Most people only bring what they need to survive. Smart campers bring what they need to enjoy life. These 5 items that change the way you camp. Stay to the very end to find out what the 6th bonus item is. One thing folks always forget is an extra day pack that's actually lightweight and can integrate with the rest of your big pack to get to camp. Some packs have a very small pack lid that can be used as a fanny pack, and oftentimes a lot of campers use the stuff sacks they use to organize their equipment as a way to transport things on a day hike, kind of slinging it over the shoulder or maybe using it as a little string bag day pack. I use a slightly different method to organize and sortie out of camp, to day pack out of camp. It's this Helikon bushcraft satchel. It's a 17-liter, just a Cordura shopping bag. This is just a olive drab, tactical looking Cordura shopping bag. When it's flat, it looks a lot like a purse, a tactical purse. One big zipper opening on top. Inside is one big spacious compartment with a little mesh organizer, zipper pocket, and 2 elastic internal organizer pockets. There's a few slot pockets on the side, and the front has a small slit zipper. Heading into camp, I use this bag to transport small loose items, kind of like my possibles, lens wipes, fire starter lighters, small tools. I also use it as a food storage bag when heading into camp because on the trail I can grab the handle here, the top shoulder strap, and pull it out, and all my food comes out in one go, and I can eat from this. When I get to camp and I put away my food, hang it up in a tree, put it in a safe location from critters and bears, I can use this to do my day hiking. My small possibles, my lens wipes, toilet paper, fire starter, multi-tool, that can go into this little secure mesh zipper pocket. Water bottle, that can go into one of the internal organizer pockets. Never leave camp without a first aid kit, trauma kit. I'll put that in the other organizer pocket on the other side. Rain gear and shelter, I'll kind of wad that up and put it in the bottom of the main compartment. My poncho, as you know, already has string on it, so that's already a cordage source. Can't leave without a little bit of navigation to know where you're going. Put the main admin case into the main body, and the map can go in this little quick access pocket where it won't be damaged. As for tools, the bushcraft satchel here has some slash pockets. This pocket's a little bit too shallow to feel good about this saw, so I'm gonna keep the saw put away inside the pack. The hatchet, on the other hand, goes perfectly with this pass-through pocket. It is good for tools that are long-handled with the big head. Hatchet's perfect for that. I like to have some work gloves. Put that in the easy access front, and we are off. So a poncho as rain gear isn't very effective. It makes a lot of noise. It snags in brush. If I have to scramble up steep terrain, it's always drooping down and snagging on my feet. That being said, I still always have a poncho, and always my ponchos are rigged up with little bits of string to use as a shelter, a windbreak, a rain fly. But in this case, since we're camped out on a riverbank, a sunshade. We have to keep the sun off our skin, and the poncho works just as well in the sun as it does in the rain. So I'll do a quick rig up, quick release knots. Just a simple clove hitch, and I'm just gonna place rocks on this dead man anchor, and just like that, a nice little shaded spot. And turn it the other way, it can be a windbreak. I can put it more overhead, it can be a rain shield. In an emergency with some sticks or trekking poles, I can even use this as a stretcher or litter bearer to get someone who has a hurt leg or is unable to walk out of the backcountry. A single wall tent like this Three Rivers Products doesn't handle rain and condensation well. A poncho as an extra rain fly when the rain does come makes this tent a lot better. And in this case, it's a good sunshade to make the inside of the tent cooler during the midday heat. The next item people forget to bring along has to do with outerwear. Most backpackers, most backcountry users wear outerwear made of synthetic materials. Nylon, polyester, it's made of oil. It creates microplastics. It creates endless conflict in the world. Other insulating materials are made of down, and that tortures poor little goslings. You know what is a more sustainable, peaceful material? Is this USA-made WeatherWool merino jacket. This is the WeatherWool denim, kind of a blue indigo color. It's a button-up. It isn't the most technical looking material, but it is a technical jacket. Even though it appears to be more of a fashion, more of a casual wear item, this WeatherWool material is as technical or more technical than down. then fleece, then polar fleece, then climate shield. The material in itself is wind resistant, water resistant, it's warming, it's faster drying, and it can handle a lot of moisture. To me, makes it worth the weight penalty. The fact is, I'm just glad to wear something against my skin that isn't microplastic maxing me. This is one of the most luxurious items I bring on an expedition. It's an LED light string. There's a proliferation of these on Amazon and other online retailers like Alibaba or Temu. All it is a USB plug-in, brightness control on-off. If you have a nice warm glow around you, it elevates the feeling of civility. You feel like you are no longer in the backcountry, the suffering level goes down, and the glamping level goes up. These only weigh about 3 ounces, and they plug into most power packs. Let's go ahead and install this in the tent, and we'll show you what it looks like at night. I'm gonna have the light box power system at the back in this little pocket. Plugging the power system in. You can use these not just for the light system, but for attaching gear. I'm gonna clip the first one into my guy line. There's light control. And again, string it all the way to the front of the tent. And again, another night eyes. Nothing drooping. I can still hang gloves and socks in the tent to let it dry overnight. When night falls, it'll be a nice ambient glow in here. Everything is nice and green lit. And from the outside, it looks like a party. The morale boost is immense. A lot of campers are out there neglecting their feet. Your feet got you to camp. You have to take care of them. The lightest weight way to get camp shoes in the backcountry are flip-flops. These are closed-celled foam waterproof flip-flops. I got these down in Mexico while guiding the high peaks of Mexico, Orizaba, from a street vendor. This is pretty big feet for a Mexican, but they had my size. These only weigh about 5 ounces, and they provide so much health and comfort at camp. You can't cross a river with them exactly. The little toe centered tong is a little bit too thin. But then again, the Crocs all-terrain heel flip isn't strong enough to cross the river either. I'm on team flip-flop. You can burn me down in the comments. I think Crocs way too much for what they do. Save the weight, have foot health at camp. If you want to see the uncensored foot footage, please join on Patreon. I'm just kidding. There's not going to be uncensored foot footage. Hanging around camp, there's nothing nicer than having your feet air out, stretching your toes out, relaxing your feet away from your damp boots. And now, the 6th bonus item. When you're out backpacking camping, if the regs and season allows, if the laws allow, I like to bring some camp guns. My favorite camp guns are .22 long rifle. This is a Smith & Wesson 10-shot .22 pistol. This handgun is all weather. There's very little on this handgun that rust. The optics, the screws, but otherwise, this is stainless steel. It can be abused. It can be rained on, sleeted on, sweat. Nothing will really shake this pistol. It can be used to plink, but of course, it can also be used to take small game, like squirrels, like ptarmigan, and add a lot of meat to the pot when you're on a long trip. Another use of the handgun, obviously, self-defense. .22 long rifle is not the best, but in a pinch, you can defend yourself against maybe people or like coyotes or smaller animals, not so much a black bear or a brown bear. Another great tote-around rifle I really like to carry. It's so light, it's so usable, is this Mossberg Model 42. This is a World War II vintage training rifle. It was used to train troops for the Springfield 1903 and the M1 Garand, but now it's just a great rifle with aperture sights, very pointable, nice magazines, nice trigger, very pointable for taking small game. Little compartment in the buttstock to carry an additional magazine. This is just a great all-around tote-around summertime backpack camp gun. One big drawback about having a more old school carbon steel gun is that you have to treat it every day, every night. You have to keep your gun lubed up so it stays in good working condition. When in bear country or when there's a season out like spring bear or early season bear hunting, I like to have an actual center fire rifle. This is a Ruger American Gen 2. It's a scout model. This rifle I carry in lieu of a lever gun or a bear rifle. It's a great camp gun when there are larger predators like mountain lions, black bears, brown bears. 308 will get the job done to defend me, and it can also hunt. Right now it's configured to have a lighter weight shooting sling. It's a G3 sling, no muzzle device, just a thread protector with standoff to keep it from bumping into rocks, and a Hollow Sun 503. This one has the BDC reticle, so if I wanted to reach out and have hash marks out to 300, 400 yards, I can get in the optic, I can see the BDC dots, and make a long shot if need be. So I can also co-witness. If I drop this out of my backpack, it falls out of the straps, hits the rock, I can undo this and use my iron sights, or I can use my iron sights right through this optic, and I have co-witness with this optic. Carry your guns with you, add the training weight, get stronger. It isn't about how much you can shave off. Sometimes it's about how much you can carry and have capability when you go in the backcountry. So tell me in the comments, What are your favorite 6 items to bring into the backcountry? Would you change something about my list? Did I forget something? What is your favorite item on the list? Leave it in the comments. So much learning and discussion happens in there. I answer every single one I can. I really appreciate it, how civil and intellectual my comment section on YouTube is. Want to support niche content like this? Consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon gets early releases, the uncensored content. Also join as a YouTube member. If you can't do that, like, subscribe, hit that bell, and share this content. It really helps with the algorithm. I'm Don, on the Scout.